Hello YouTube, this is That Yi Guy. Today I have for you an ultimate guide on the card system in Lost Ark. With the card system, you can equip multiple cards of the same set and get bonuses that you can use in all the different contents. So in this guide, I'm going to go into a lot of detail, so it's going to be a long guide. But down below, as with all my guides, there will be timestamps with very clearly labeled sections. That way, if you know the basics, for example, you can simply skip to the section with the information you're looking for. Along with this video, I'm also going to include the links to a text document where you can check some of the information that's hard to remember off the top of your head. And also, I'm going to actively, for the next probably 10 hours, work on this text document. It's going to fill out with more and more information. And hopefully by tomorrow, I'll have the Wandering Merchant guide out. So it is pretty time consuming with my work schedule and everything else. So hopefully this is going to be helpful. I'm going to start with the basics. So the cards are something you're going to get access to as you play the game, as you complete quests, as you complete Welcome Challenge, and do different island quests and things like that. You're going to start getting access to the card packs. There are multiple different type of card packs, but when you open them and open the packs that come out of it, you're going to end up with different cards. So when you right click on the cards, they'll be added to your collection. To access your collection, you can go down to roster and card catalog, or you can press Alt+C at the same time, and this will pull up this interface. So in this interface, you can see that you have a card deck. This is where you can equip different cards in order to get the bonuses. To see where the bonuses are, you can simply go to the left. I have quite a bit of cards collected already, but for you, the screen might look different. Now you can go to this section and check the set effects. And that is what's going to be most important when you look at different cards. Is that you can see that Field Boss 2 set, 4 set, 6 set. What that means is that it's a number of cards you need of the same set in order to achieve the effect. For example, if I equip 2 of them, this will light up the 2 set. And then if I equip 4, it will light up the 4 set, 6 set, etc., etc. And all of them are going to be additively counted. So if I have a 4 set, it's going to give me 4% and 4%. So in total, I'll have 8%. Slightly differently when it comes to damage reduction. For example, this gives me 8% damage reduction. This gives me 8% damage reduction. Now, this doesn't mean that I have 16% reduction because it doesn't do the reduction at the exact same time. What this means is that it's going to give me the 8% reduction and then take that number and give me the 8% reduction again. So this is something to keep in mind because I've seen a lot of people confused about that. Outside of just the set effects, it's going to have 2 set, 4 set, 6 set, etc. But some of them have Peace Awakening. So this one has a 12-piece awakening. What that means is that out of all the ones you equip of the set, because it's a 6 set, I need to equip 6 of them. And then out of all of them, if I have 12 awakening scores in total, this will be active as well. So on this card, I have a single crystal lit up. That means it has 1 awakening. So that will count as 1. If I have, say, 5 on this one, 5 on this one, and another 1 on this one, as long as they add up to the number necessary for the awakening, it will trigger the awakening effect if I have the set equipped. We can also check the book section. This is just a place that shows you how much you have collected, and some of them gives you bonuses when you have the whole collection set. This is not something you really have to worry about because as you can see, even with a very sizable collection of cards I have, I only get 29 strength, 29 dexterity, etc., etc. At tier 3 in the in-game, each piece of jewelry in total gives you almost 10,000 of the stat, and your character will have 100,000 of the stat. So 29 at that point isn't really a big deal. Here in the Enhanced tab, we can actually awaken or increase our capacity for the card slot. So one thing you should never ever do, and I've seen a video with a ton of views, like 100,000 views, where it says if you don't have space, you just delete cards. You should never delete cards. It's a terrible idea. What you want to do is that if you do run out of slot, it's highly encouraged for you to expand the catalog slot. So this will cost blue crystals, and if you're free to play, sometimes you don't have enough blue crystals. So what you want to do is that if you have the gold to spare, you want to currency exchange and then exchange some of your gold for blue crystals. Of course, I understand that you don't want to do this all the time. So until you have the blue crystals to expand the slot, it is encouraged that you might want to just hold some of these card packs, especially if you're starting out. Because if in this card pack form, they all sort of stack very nicely. But if you open them all into cards and you run out of slot, it might start cluttering up your inventory. But once you do have the spare gold, I highly encourage you to look into expanding the slot like I showed you earlier. So if you scroll down, this is where you can expand the catalog slot. Awakening is something that you really should do your research before you do. So what it is that you simply right click on one of the cards, or you can drag it all the way to the right in order to have that be the active card you're working on. And when you're in this interface, you can spend card enhancement EXP. So this one requires 29,000 because it's legendary. If it's lower rarity, it will require less. In order to awaken it, you also need to have duplicates of the card. So if we look at Argos, this card right here, I do not have a duplicate. But if I have one duplicate, you will see the blue card symbol over here plus 1. That means that I got the base card and I got one extra copy. That means the duplicate. And then for this one, I have 3 duplicate. And for some of them, I have even more. And every time you want to awaken a card, say you're going from 0 awakening, as you see here, 0 crystals. If you want to have 1 crystal, which is 1 awakening, you will need to have 1 duplicate that you're going to consume in the process. And then if you're trying to go from 1 to 2, you're going to need 2 duplicates that you're going to consume in the process. So in order to go from 0 awakening all the way to 5 awakening, you're going to need to have the base card, and then you're going to have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. So you're going to need a total of 15 copies to fully awaken the card from 0 to 15. This is why awakening is something you kind of deliberately go for if you know exactly what you want. And in this video later on, I'm also going to give my recommendations on the sets that you potentially want to work towards. But the quick demonstration, you simply max this. This will spend the EXP towards the awakening, and it comes with a silver cost. This is also the reason why most long-term players will tell you, unless you know exactly what you're going for, even if you have the duplicates, you really don't want to awaken it because it will be a waste of a silver and the EXP. You're going to get a lot of them from Ghost Ship. You get them from Cube, for example. You're going to get a ton of these card EXP. And when you're running through Chaos Dungeon, you're also going to get EXP cards, depending on what tier of Chaos Dungeon you run as well. So usually EXP is going to be a indecent supply, but the silver cost of awakening is going to be what's stopping you. As for the card packs, the biggest source of it is going to be from just leveling up. A lot of the quests and the side quests will reward the card packs when you're going through it. And the Welcome Challenge also comes with a lot of card packs as rewards. Aside from that, there will also be certain events that has card pack as reward, as you can see here. And in the same time, this event also has the EXP card as rewards. There are also 14 card packs you can buy every week, and there's in 2 different locations. The first one is near North Vern. It's called Peytos. It's a merchant ship. You simply search for Peyto, it will light up, and you can simply go there, and once you're there, go to the NPC right here, and the NPC will provide you 7 cards per week that you can buy, and they're going to be Peto card packs. Similarly, there is another ship near the Phaeton area, and it's called Cradle of Sea Fermata. And there's an NPC here as well where you can talk to them and purchase 7 card pack as well for 2k pirate coins per week. Personally, I don't usually buy it because the card, it's gonna be a long-term goal, so I'm not too stressed over it. I was just gonna naturally get it as time goes on, but for the demonstration I went ahead and bought them as well. So you can buy both locations out every week. For people with more disposable income, you can also buy them from the shop. So you can buy technically this card bundle, but it's really not efficient. I highly recommend against spending crystal here. It's more a waste than anything else. What you can do is you can go to Mari's shop, and in the Mari's shop sections, you're gonna be able to purchase certain card pack deals. Note that there's different type of card packs. So some of them is any card pack, so you have a chance to get card packs of different rarity out of it. And also there's a legendary to rare, so this tells you what rarity you can get out of it. And in my text document I'm going to include here, it's also going to tell you the percentage chance, so you can kind of help you decide which one you want to buy. If this is what you choose to do, you should watch out because certain deals are horrible in the Mare shop. For example, this one has any card pack, 10 of them for 180. But if we look in the previous pages, this is only 5 for 203. So it's only half as much and it's more expensive. So definitely watch out and not waste your blue crystals. Aside from card packs, there are also other ways to farm for the cards that you need. For example, in the Field Boss 2 set, all of these bosses can actually be farmed from just doing the bosses themselves. The first time you defeat the bosses and collect a reward, you're going to be able to get their perspective cards. So this is going to be pretty easy to farm for, and coincidentally, this is a very solid set as well. Aside from that, there's also the Abyssal Dungeons. So if you look at the reward here, even though you can't do the lower tiers for gold reward, you can still get the legendary cards. And a lot of people do go through the lower tier content, do it really fast, and collect all the legendary cards. And the chance to get it is actually really, really low. So I don't want to give a false expectation that you can just farm these just really easily. It's very low chance, and a lot of people who are dedicated to grinding this will have 6 characters doing 10 grinds every week. It's a lot of work, and that's coincidentally the reason why I think you should take it slow when it comes to the card sets. And if you want, you can also refer to my text document at this point. You can see that currently, and this is something that's going to change in the future, currently there's 19 legendary cards. So if you ever get the legendary card drop from the Abyssal Dungeon, it's 1 in 19 to get the exact one you're looking for. Because there's 19 different legendary cards and bound to increase in the future, a lot of people recommend that you save the selector chest. So legendary card pack selection chest, this is something that's usually handed out in very special events. So as time goes on, you could potentially save up a bunch of these. Aside from that, we can also refer to the codex, which you can access with Alt+D or down here. And we can scroll down to the card section. And this is actually going to tell us where you can obtain certain cards. So for example, if you want to get Thyrane card, you can potentially get it from Adventure's Tome East Luterra. So you collect the completion in the Adventure's Tome, and you're actually going to get their Thyrane as one for rewards. And you can check that for a lot of other cards. For example, this one's from collecting Igneous token, and you can get it through Wandering Merchant. So there are multiple ways to obtain the cards, but at the end of the day, this might sound difficult, but there are only really certain combination of cards that are good for you. So I'm gonna go over all the combinations That way you can have a better idea of what you want to go for. And once you choose it, that should be the one you focus on. But once again, do not stress yourself out trying to get the cards. It's not designed to be something you can grind out in a day or two. It's designed to be a long-term project that you slowly work on. One thing that's universally good is actually the Field Boss 2 set. As you can see, each 2 gives you 4% max HP. And then there's another set with 4% HP. It's called Farewell Weapon. So a lot of people, especially if you're starting out, you just want to slowly do more field boss, and as you do, you can start completing this set, and you can just try to get in total 12% max HP. Next one I want to talk about is really good for everyone and great for Mayhem Berserkers especially, and it is called the We'll Meet Again set. It is a 3 card set, so it's a little bit unusual. And when you get the 3 set, you get 12% reduced damage taken when you're at 50% or lower HP. So Berserkers will always have this reduction because when you get Mayhem, you're gonna be maxed at 25% HP, for example. And for everyone else, it is gonna be really good once you have a 9-piece Awakening bonus, because naturally you're gonna be hit pretty low anyways. And when you get this much reduction from a 3-card set, this is going to be very beneficial. Because when you have a 9-piece Awakening bonus, you're going to take 12% damage reduction, and then you take that and then get another 16% reduction afterward. This is a very powerful card set that I recommend everyone work towards. And when I publish my Wandering Merchant video, it's going to go ahead and show you how to get many copies of 2 of these cards. So you can simply over time collect enough CNs and collect enough Manics and get the 9-piece Awakening bonus. At the same time, there is a way to farm for the Varad card. So there's a specific dungeon that has Varad as a drop. So you could potentially farm it over and over, but personally I wouldn't recommend it. Traveling Merchant is just gonna be slightly easier and just less tedious. There's another set called Forest of Giants that's also really good. What it does is that it gives you effectiveness of recovery items plus 15%. And when you awaken it, it actually gives you a percentage increase in physical and magic defense. So if you can awaken this one fully, it's going to be a really powerful 3-card set. That means that, yeah, over time, if you can finish this, you should also look for it. In my text guide, I'm going to go into details on how you can farm more of this, but it's going to be a really tedious farm as well. So card set is whenever you feel like you're in the mood, you just go to specific dungeons and try to farm out a copy or 2. And once again, you will need 16 copies of each if you want to fully awaken something. Now, most people will recommend some other sets as an in-game combination. For me personally, I actually think these 2 3-card sets, if you can slowly work on their awakening, it's going to make you much more survivable. The mitigation it provides is huge. So I think it's something that I personally will make into my long-term project. So in a couple months, hopefully I will have this fully awakened. I'm gonna take it slow and just enjoy all the other content in the same time. I'm gonna move on to the 2 meta picks. So, and I'm going to tell you why you should go for them, but at the same time, why you shouldn't stress out too much about them. So the first one I'm going to talk about is going to be the Lostwind Cliff set. So if you take a look right now, it gives dark damage reduction. This one will give you 8%, and then give you 8% again, and followed by 9%. It is really good because when you go past 14-15, now I'm talking real end game, like past what we have right now in the Western release. So when you get to that point, when you have the Legion Commander raids, dark damage reduction is going to be really useful because that's pretty much the bulk of damage you're going to be taking. And what makes this set really good is that when you have the 6 set bonus and you get into 12 piece awakening, you're going to get critical rate plus 7%. So cards don't usually give that much offensive capabilities, but this is one of the sets that actually gives you a significant bonus. A 7% increase in crit rate is roughly 7% more damage to your character, and that's gonna be really good as you slowly work up to the point where you have the awakening. And the best way to go about it is actually to max your Syria, max your Solace, and just have enough so the best way to achieve the 12 piece awakening is to kind of have the Syria card, which you can get through Wandering Merchant as well. So you slowly want to just buy them from the Wandering Merchant until you have 5th awakening. And then Solace you can actually grind for if you want through a very tedious method. The short version is that there is a quest couple hours in where you will get this guaranteed as a quest reward. So what some people have done is that they will make a new character, spend a couple hours just to complete to that quest, get this card, use it, delete that character, and repeat over again. And I personally find that to be horrifyingly boring, so I probably wouldn't go for it because this is a lower rarity card. So chances are, as you open more and more packs from events and things like that, you're just gonna have enough naturally to have him at a high awakening. So I will only recommend you farm for him in the tedious way if, say, you're almost at 12 piece, and this will get you there. Now let's take a look at the most meta set in the other servers, which is the Light of Salvation set. If we take a comparison, Light of Salvation gives way more reduction than the Lostwind Cliff. It gives 10% per each set bonus, and which is way more than the Lostwind Cliff. And when it get the 12 piece awakening bonus, it's going to change your damage type to holy damage. Now all the holy damage does more damage to the Legion Commander raids, which is some of the hardest content in the game, and that's already going to be really good damage boost. And if you can get 18 piece awakening bonus, you will make all of your holy damage be 7% more. Now at this point it's already fantastic because you're already boosting your damage across the board. It makes it already better than Lostwind Cliff set by just a big margin. It's just strictly better at that point. As opposed to the Lostwind Cliff set, which has 2 pieces that are easy to get, the Light of Salvation set has all legendary cards as part of the set. And as you can imagine, they are way harder to build up. They're way harder to get to a high awakening bonus. Just as a reminder, once again, to fully awaken something, you're gonna need 16 copies. So that's gonna be really hard. And in fact, to get the 30 piece awakening bonus, you need to have every single card in this set at max awakening bonus. Now you might be thinking to yourself, this is ridiculous. How are you supposed to get there? Well, you're not really supposed to get there. And the thing is, most hardcore Korean players that I know, most of just the really extreme hardcore grinders, they literally play 10 hours a day during the day, and then they've been playing for 3 years. I think only one of them out of like the dozens that I know who are that hardcore, only one has the 30 piece awakening bonus. And the thing is, the game is not designed around you having the 30 piece awakening bonus. It just gives you more damage. Don't need to have it, and you really shouldn't let anyone stress you out about this. Because if anyone tells you that this is the in-game meta and you're required to have this, and they don't know what they're talking about. You literally will be okay if you have a Lostwind Cliff set with a 7% crit rate. It's not even required, but like this is usually what people kind of expect you to have for an ultra in-game setup, like literally 2-3 years into the game kind of setup. Once again, a lot of the things that I talk about and some details about how to farm for specific cards will be included in the text guide as well. So please check that out if you feel like it. And yeah, that pretty much concludes the card guide. And if you have any questions, please leave in the comment down below, or you can ask me on my Discord as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.